Good afternoon, everyone. Would everyone please rise for the presentation of the colors?
Root, hope, and faith. Host color. Reset on.
Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem. Please be seated. Please join with me in a spirit of prayer and reflection. Gracious source of all that is true and good and beautiful, we gather to honor those who have served our country and given of their lives, their time, their talents, so that we may stand here and prayerfully reflect in freedom. Remind us that our gifts are secured by those willing to sacrifice to ensure future generations continue to know life in a free and democratic society. Grant that our reflections today honor those who made that choice, as well as the many more willing to do so if called upon. May the remembrances of the prices paid for our life as a nation prompt us to seek justice, to foster freedom, and to pursue the ways of peace. May we honor their service to the nation by being a source of blessing to all its people and to the rest of humankind. Amen. I want to thank you here. Thank you for coming here today on this, the 103rd anniversary of what we now call Veterans Day. This day has a rich and vibrant history dating back to 1918. And since the end of World War I, this day of celebration has evolved from public meetings to parades and eventually a federal holiday. But today, what we truly hold close to our hearts are the women and men who have served this great nation unconditionally, putting the well-being of themselves and their families at risk and putting the lives and values of others above their own, ensuring a wealth of opportunities for generations to come. It is an honor to recognize those who have made great sacrifices in the past and those who today pick up the torch and secure our future. We gather in honoring all those who have led in service to their country and, more importantly, its ideals. We are reminded that Veterans Day is never political. Rather, it is an opportunity to recognize service, not to politics or party, but to country and, more importantly, the values we cherish. Those of freedom, equality, the right to speak and believe what we desire, liberty in thought, word, and deed, and that pursuit of happiness, not of a fleeting sort, but of a contentment which lies in stable homes, stable communities, and opportunities for all. Many of those who have gathered here share a personal connection to veterans. We have veterans in our midst, but we also have those who are families, neighbors, friends, children of veterans, and today we recognize their service as well. To you all, we say thanks, and yet for many of us gathered, the experience of our veterans can seem somewhat distant. Today marks the 100th centenary of the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Since November 11th, 1921, the tomb has provided a final resting place for America's unidentified World War I service members and unknowns from later wars added in the future. This Veterans Day, let us indeed go ahead and idealize those entombed unknowns, but also let us make a commitment that no veteran, no service member in our community, in our neighborhoods, on this campus goes unrecognized. And may we commit ourselves to their service. It is my pleasure to now introduce Dr. Mary Beth Cooper.
Good afternoon. It's lovely to be here, and I'm loving the ambiance of the noise that we're going to be able to enjoy during our presentation. So if you have a music choice you'd like to have drive by, I'll see what I can arrange. It's been fun being outside for a lot of these events because we're part of a vibrant campus, and that's what I love about the ability to celebrate today. And today's a very important day for many, many, many people. And I want to tell you a little bit about my story, and my story is not dissimilar from yours. Many of us, and you can probably see that on Facebook, or you could see that elsewhere, as people tell their stories, they're either a daughter of a veteran. I am a daughter of a veteran. I'm also a sibling of 2 veterans. And those 3 individuals that went to serve the country later became a firefighter and later became a police officer, and my father was an FBI agent. So when I think about my own story and thinking about those that serve, not only in the military, but then go on and be first responders because service is at their core, I'm humbled by it. Completely humbled by it because it's not my story. I didn't serve. I know people that served. And many of you know I have a son that's in the Air Force. He's getting ready to depart tomorrow. And now I know that feeling as a mother of somebody that's serving the country. But it's not my story. And you'll hear from Logan, you'll hear from others. It's their story. And it's not just serving. It's all the things that they miss, the holidays, the births of their children, graduations. I think back on my growing up and seeing that happen when someone was deployed, and you think, gosh, that's so unselfish of them, but they miss what's going on in our lives. And so when we say thank you for your service, it's not just about leaving and serving the country, but thank you for protecting us and also allowing us to live while you are out serving us. And so when this started, it really was a team effort. A lot of people came together to make this happen. We realized that some of our students that were veterans came to this campus and didn't really have a place. They didn't have a place that they could call home. And so working with Dean Nolan, working with many other people, we were trying to identify, and David and others, I'm sure I've missed somebody in this mess, could we find a place that would be a home for our students, for veterans, where they could come and be comfortable, where they could study, where they'd have access to food, a place that when they have experiences that are so dissimilar from so many other people, where could they be comfortable? Where could they share their experiences of what they've learned as they are part of our community now? And so we first started with a small office in an academic building, and it wasn't sufficient. This space became available, and our great team and facilities helped to make this a reality. And you're going to get a chance to see this in just a few minutes. And I want to thank again Kevin and his team for all the work to making this a reality. Now, Travis is going to tell you it took a couple years. This conversation started about 5 years ago, and we're a persistent folk. We stay with a good idea until we see it in fruition. And today we're going to cut the ribbon on a home for our students and our alumni that are veterans. And it's going to sit at the entrance of our campus, welcoming them home. And so I can't wait to have our veterans feel like this is a place that's a part of their community so that we can individually and collectively recognize their service. Where else but Springfield College, where service is a part of our mission, spirit, mind, and body, in leadership and service to others. It was a long time coming, Travis, but it's here, and my hope is that it's filled with laughter and peace and a place where people feel comfortable and that we recognize how important they are to us. And so I want to thank all of you that are serving the country and those that have served and those that are either married to or a daughter or a sibling or a mother of somebody that's serving now. It is the greatest gift we can give each other in terms of taking care of each other. And so thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I can't wait to see the inside of the building with you and share it with you. So thank you for being here today. And I'll turn the mic over to Travis, who's probably going to pick on me. But he can. That's what happens when you speak second. Travis?
All right, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. David, I appreciate you setting this up for us. Logan, distinguished guests and everybody, veterans here. I appreciate you guys showing up. It's great to see a crowd this size. Usually we do these type of things and like there's a few of us and that's it. So I'm Travis Wright. I'm with the Army ROTC program. We're based out of UMass, so I'm the enrollment officer. I'm the one that gets these cadets to say, hey, I want to do this and I want to serve. And it's a big deal to have this open. So I'm a kind of speak from the cuff type of guy, so I don't have anything really prepared, but I thought about a few things. So I wanted to share a couple stories with you. One of them getting to President Cooper's remarks at the end there. But first, so I was an ROTC guy when I was going to college. I joined the National Guard to take advantage of, hey, they're going to help me pay for school. I knew I wanted to do ROTC anyhow. So my unit that I was assigned to in the National Guard was an armor unit, rode around on tanks. And as me, as a 19-year-old, student / cadet, I would go to drill, and there was a bunch of, officers and senior enlisteds there, and they'd all been there, done that. So for those of you who don't know, in the Army, we wear our unit patch on our duty uniform on our left sleeve. But if we've been in combat, on our right sleeve, we wear the unit patch of the unit we served with in combat. In our dress uniforms, we wear it on our breast pocket here. So we'd show up, and there'd be all these old grizzled vets there that had been in the first Gulf War. And it was like, these guys are awesome. They've been there, they've done that. I want to be like them someday. But there weren't a lot of them. They're the onesies, twosies. And so kind of as I progressed through my career, and after my first deployment, I went there, did that, got the t-shirt, got the patch. And then over the years, as Iraq and Afghanistan was going on, pretty much soon everybody had a combat patch. Because if you were in the military, you were going to deploy. It was what it was. So as the years went on, though, and things kind of started to calm down, not as many as people were deploying, people were getting out of the military, and so now I'm still in the National Guard. So when I go to drill, I look around at our soldiers that are around me, and not many of them have a combat patch on anymore. And all of a sudden, crap, I'm that old grizzled vet that. And I'm not old either. I don't think of myself as old, but now I'm that guy. And so that's what I love about the job that I do with ROTC, is it's my opportunity to pass that on to the cadets of, hey, mentor them, and we're passing that torch on to them. So on Veterans Day, I really, it means a lot to me to have these type of events, and it means a ton to myself and the other veterans to see everybody come out and support it, because it should be a happy time for the veterans. It's honoring and celebrating them and thanking them, and that's what I've seen through the college here as well, getting to President Cooper's point about how long this took. So about 7 years or so ago, we had no cadets on this campus whatsoever, and then all of a sudden we had one female student on campus. She just contacted me and said, hey, this is something I think I want to do. So all of a sudden we had one student on campus. So I started coming to events here and doing some of the open houses. And at one of the open houses, I met a couple gentlemen from the campus that was like, hey, why don't we have more ROTC? This is a good opportunity. Your students are awesome. They're good academically. They know what leadership is. That's what we want Springfield College to represent. It's like, well, that's a good question. How do we change that? And so, a couple months later, we're sitting down having a conversation with President Cooper and myself, and at the time our department head, and all of a sudden things kind of the ball started rolling, and then it kind of became that snowball effect to where now down the road we now have 10 cadets on campus. The college has been awesome about helping our scholarship cadets out and giving them some bonuses for stepping up and receiving an Army ROTC scholarship, and just being a ROTC student on campus, even if they're not on scholarship, the college has given them a lot of benefits. So we truly appreciate that, President Cooper. It means a lot to us, and we hear a lot as veterans, and if there's veterans out here, I know you have all heard it multiple times. Thank you for your service. That's awesome to hear, and we really appreciate it. Sometimes, especially lately in the political atmosphere and all that, sometimes I hear that and it kind of rings hollow. It's like it's become the appropriate thing to say, whether you really know what it means or not. But I can say, here at Springfield College, when I hear it, I know they mean it, and that the proof is in the pudding through what is going on with this building and how long it's taken. And I mean, it's a great opportunity, and like President Cooper said, now those veterans on campus, they've got someplace to go and hang out with our own. Because, as a veteran on campus, you don't always fit in. You're usually the older individual on campus. You don't have a lot in common with an 18-year-old, brand new freshman. You've got a lot of different life experiences, so you kind of feel like, I'm kind of the oddball out here. So this gives the veterans and anybody on campus that has served, and even those ROTC students, they kind of have that common space to bond. And it wasn't until President Cooper said it about it being at the entrance to the campus. So me as an armor guy, we're always the tip of the spear. We're the first ends. We're taking the fight to the enemy. Well, it's pretty awesome for us to be the tip of the spear with this center going into the university. So, I mean, that means a lot to me. So I appreciate you guys showing up. President Cooper, David, thanks for putting this together. And with that, I will shut up and let you get to your food and beverage afterwards.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Logan Large. I am the GA Veteran Coordinator here at Springfield College. First off, I'd like to thank all of the veterans for their service and their sacrifice to our country. It does not go overlooked when we are thinking about you today. I was trying to figure out the best way to put into words my appreciation, my admiration for the veterans, and I thought the best way to do that would be to tell you a little bit about my story. So I was part of the 101st Airborne as an infantryman. Very, very soon after I got to my unit, I was going to be deployed. I spent deployment in Kunar, Afghanistan in 2013 when I would eventually shatter my ankle on a mission and have to be medevaced off the mountain. So everything very abruptly stopped for me. So the idea of going from serving my country to becoming a veteran was kind of a bitter thing at the time. It took a lot of growth and a lot of time for me to accept where I was and where I was going at that point. But through that time, I grew, and my admiration for veterans grew, because in reflection, I probably wouldn't be where I am at without those veterans who were in my life and all of their wisdom and their experiences that they went through. And that kind of leads me to the point of the center. It is a place where I hope that all of my military-connected individuals here on Springfield can come and utilize. Whether you be a veteran, active duty military, a spouse, a child, my ROTC individuals, I hope that you feel like you are welcome, that you can come and utilize this center when you need to, where you can come to me if you need questions answered or if you need to find some type of contact. I hope to make this process as easy for you as possible and that you feel welcome here. I would just like to end and say thank you for everybody who came out today. Thank you to facilities, to Harvest Table, to communications, to spiritual life, to the Center of Service and Leadership. Without you guys, none of this would have been possible, and it wouldn't be where it's at now. So again, thank you, everybody.
you, Victoria. I want to just say as we close that following the ceremony, all are invited to come around here and join us for the ribbon cutting, and then there will be tours and an opportunity for the campus community to check out the center and spend a little time there speaking with Logan and speaking with some of our ROTC cadets. And as you return to the main part of campus, I want to highlight that our Student Alumni Association is doing a card writing campaign in the Union until 1:30. Until 1:30. And so as you go back to main campus, if you would stop in there to also show your support. Please please rise and join with me in a spirit of prayer. O God, our help in ages past, our hope in years to come, our shelter from the stormy blast, and our eternal home. We give thanks today for devotion and courage, for those who have offered military service to this country, they who have fought for freedom, they who have brought their best to times of crisis, they who have laid down their lives for others and for the values they held dear, for those suffering in spirit or in body, and those celebrating today the great pleasures of being at home with those whom they love and fought to defend. On behalf of many, they have entered into danger, endured separation from those they love, and labored under long hours and borne hardship in both war and peacetime. In your mercy and love, we give thanks for their lives. We ask today that you would lift up by your Spirit those now at war, encourage those who are still healing, guard those in need and trouble, and hold safely in your hands all military families, and bring those returning home to joyful reunion and tranquil life. Give to us, your people, grateful hearts and a united will to honor these men and women and hold them in our love, our prayers, until your world is perfected in peace. Amen. Please remain standing as the color guard recesses.
Retire the colors.